We'll begin with my questions and for 5 minutes. U.S. utilities have committed to 116 gigawatts of large capacity additions in the next few years, approximately 15.5% of the current peak demand. There is significant need for energy capacity and associated infrastructure, and the market is responding. A leading industrial firm will double gas turbine production capacity within the next 2 years. Distribution transformers are also in high demand. The previous administration proposed a standard under EPCA for transformers that would have required a complete retooling of the product design and material composition while yielding an efficiency gain of less than 0.1%. This standard will exacerbate supply chain issues. Mr. Lieberman, do you know if efficiency gain of less than 0.1% qualifies as yielding a significant energy savings as required by EPCA?
Well, clearly it does it, and there's a provision in the underlying law, the Energy Policy and Conservation Act, explicitly forbidding DOE from setting a new or an amended standard unless it saves a significant amount of energy. In fact, that's in the statute more than once. Unfortunately, it never quantified significant conservation of energy, and we've seen over time it's become eye of the beholder, and DOE will set a standard even if the energy conservation seems to be trivial. Another example of that is the most recent stove standard. It would save gas stove cooktop owners about 21 cents a year, but that was considered significant. So I think there's some value in the Don't Mess with My Home Appliances Act puts numbers and percentages on conservation of energy. So it's not really changing the underlying statutory provisions. It's just making them easier or making them harder to get around. So I think the answer is yes, it was a trivial amount of energy, and that standard should not have.
Well, let me ask you another question. When a product has maximized technologically achievable energy efficiency gain, is it reasonable to allow products to no longer be regulated under EPCA?
Yes, and some of these appliances have been regulated now 4 times, 5 times. Some of them are on to the 6th round of successively tighter standards. We're proving the law of diminishing margin returns or maybe even negative returns. I think it makes perfect sense to have stopping points. I believe the original statute contemplated that, but we're not seeing that. As somebody once said, birds fly, fish swim, and regulators regulate. So we'll just keep seeing more and more regulations over time, even if they don't necessarily make sense.
Well, thank you. Mr. Steffes, Section 433 of the Energy Independence and Security Act required DOE to phase out fossil fuel generated energy consumption in new and remodeled federal buildings by 2030. How will this impact energy reliability at sites of high national security importance like the Pentagon and Fort Meade?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You know, the energy network is built upon 2 distinctive networks, the gas network and electricity grid. They work together. Removing natural gas from facilities, federal facilities, whatever form they are, office buildings or military installations, will reduce the ability to have redundant energy needs, backup energy needs in the moment of crisis. Clearly, that will challenge reliability. Our system, our natural gas system, is 99.7% reliable. We are very proud of that fact as an underground network. Removing that removes reliability. I also think it will challenge affordability by doing that. The government will have to invest money that they would otherwise not need to invest. And worst of all, you're going to be driving up the demand in a very difficult time for the electricity market. All those things are coming to bear if we don't repeal 433.
Well, thank you. Mr. Hughes, in my last about 45 seconds, the previous administration took a whole of government approach to develop and mandate green building policies to end all use of fossil fuel for heating and cooking. And how have these policies already impacted Americans despite the current administration's efforts to correct course? And unfortunately, I got about 22 seconds.
And I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
Yeah, the previous administration took a whole-of-government approach to develop and mandate green building policies and use of fossil fuel energy for heating and cooking. And the question is, how are these policies already impacting Americans despite the current administration's efforts to correct course? And unfortunately, I'm out of time, so I'm going to have to ask probably to get that in writing from you. And at this time, I yield back.